Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. You're listening to the sports coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Who that to you. Appreciate you guys for being in this early live, man. Shout out to the fam. Friday, August the 7th, early in the morning. The black and gold are off, taking a well-deserved day off of rest after a physical last couple of days. We've seen some stuff happen that were positive, negative, all at the same time, man. We're going to cover it all in this broadcast. So do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the sub button, hit the hype button, hit the share button up, baby, and let's get ready to roll on this one. Big ups to all y'all. Appreciate you. Young City 9, Ochirimo, a.k.a. The Scientist. What's popping, baby? Who that to all of my great who that's out there in the who that land. Now, fam, let's kind of cover it, man. As you can see the highlights on screen. As you can see, receipts on screen, highlights on screen about how Barion Brown has really been stepping up. Had fantastic last few days, and he's pretty much for the most of it has had a pretty damn good camp, to be honest with you. Barion Brown is really cutting this thing up, man, and he's every bit of the weapon. And that's kudos to the staff, Kellen Moore, for pinpointing Barion Brown, because a lot of people wanted LSU players to be taken, right? We knew that we wanted Harold Perkins Jr. to be the star of Staley's defense. And right now, Harold Perkins is doing real well for the Atlanta Falcons. With Jelani Walker missing, you'll see an elevated role from him in Falcon territory. But we did get an LSU Tiger on the Saints squad in the personage of Barion Brown, who's been cutting it up. Now, a lot of people might not be as familiar with Barion Brown because they think he's a return man, because specifically that's what he'll be called upon to do, to elevate that particular skill set of the Saints special teams. But let's not get it twisted, baby. Barion Brown is much more than simply a return man. Barion Brown is a guy that can also help you in the wide receiver room. He can also do the reverses for you. You can line him up like a running back. You can do a lot of stuff. If you go back and watch his college film when he was at Kentucky for multiple years, even when he came to LSU, what held him back, even though he had a solid year, what held him back at LSU last year was poor QB play. Nussmeier's son stunk, and he was hurt. He was banged up. He had a shoulder issue all season long, and the offense just stalled. Brian Kelly was awful in that last year. But Barion Brown, you can see the talent right here on the screen as he stepping out, catching deep balls, making plays happen. Kool-Aid out there picking the ball off in interceptions. And a lot of people wanted to know about Kool-Aid McKinstry, had questions about Kool-Aid and whether or not he can step up. Well, you see it. You see it, aren't you? So far, so good, right? All right, Brother Wallace, what's up, fam? Appreciate you Yeah, that's right, brother. Yeah, you know I'm getting it going early, man. You know I gotta represent, baby, to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. We gotta represent. Y'all seen that clip about Lil Boosie, what he said about the fail cons? I know y'all probably seen that little clip of Boosie. He likes the Hawks, and I don't have a problem with him liking the Hawks. But did y'all see that clip? He was talking to your boy, the actor. I mean, not the actor. Well, I guess he could say he was an actor, but he was talking to Ricky Smiley about the Falcons, and he just kind of carried on and did his thing. Let me play this for y'all, fam, in honor of the Boosie thing, because that's why I'm rocking my shirt. Here's what he had to say about the Falcons.
Told my producer that you was willing to wear an Atlanta Falcon jersey and hat.
You are. I can't stand them dirty birds. I can't stand them dirty birds. I cannot stand them dirty birds.
Boosie.
I'm a Hawks fan, but I can't stand them. Who that? You see it?
Rise up.
Who that?
Boosie.
Ain't no rise up. How you blow a 28-point lead in the Super Bowl? Sit down. The worst ever. Who blows a 28-point lead in the Super Bowl after the lights go off? Sit down. Sit down. Dirty bird. They mess with me all in Lennox, everywhere I go.
What did they say?
Rise up.
The fall down, baby.
Y'all ain't rised up since Deion Sanders. Ain't nobody been looking at y'all since prime time. Sit down. I can't stand them. And they be deep too. They be deep.
They be deep.
They be deep.
Okay, give me some history, because we want to know, why is it that the Saints and the Falcons can't stand it? What is going on with New Orleans and the
Ricky
Saints
Smiley, you gotta
fans?
do your knowledge,
It
brother.
been
You
since-
got
I
time
think
for all
since I was
that.
a kid.
Right.
I got it from my uncle.
Okay.
When we used to go down there to the game, I can't stand them. My uncle them be picking on them when they walk to the car. They gonna mess with them and everything.
Right.
We just never could stand the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh my
I
God.
ain't gonna lie, it's just been like, they ops in football. They all ops. We don't care if we win no game of the year.
You gonna beat the Falcons.
We beat Atlanta.
We good.
That's a because
All right, but nonetheless, man, listen, man. Now, listen, to be honest, man, let me give Boosie a round of applause on that one, because that was pretty good, right? We got to give Boosie a round of applause. That was good. That was good, man. That was good. Shout out to Boosie on that one, man. He kind of represented us on that. Now, credit be told, man. Now, credit be told. The Falcons did sweep the Saints last year, right? As we were in our midst of getting ourselves together. But, you know, we got to pay y'all back. And like I said, to all the people out there that hear the Falcons say rise up, you got to remember to add the second part on that for the Who Dat Nation. When they say rise up, you tell them to fall down. Rise up to fall down. That's the second part of that term. All right. Anyway, big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all. I just wanted to share that, man. I don't know if anybody has seen that. It was pretty good. Boosie was letting them know out to bat. You know how it go. But yeah, it's a good, healthy rivalry between us and the Falcons, man. It's the best in professional football, man. I enjoy it. And we get the best of them. They won some games. They swept the Saints last season. You got to give them that. They did get it. We didn't play our best football. We were hurt that last game, but nonetheless, those folks won, and we have to pay them back, baby. That's year with Kellen Moore and the Shuckinator. All right, anyway, man, let's get into it, man, and what happened at camp. Y'all hit that like button as we pursue and get up in this thing, man. Day 7, a lot of stuff to cover in the broadcast as we get set up here. And I'm gonna get my graphics here set up here, and there you go, right here. And this is a kind of a breakdown, or boil down rather, of the roster availability update that I will be kind of hitting on and letting you guys know about from time to time about what has happened since late July into now, dealing with the status of the roster. Of course, we talked about the Brian Bresee have a torn ACL. He's out for the 2026 season. He's ultimately getting that surgery done, and we probably will know something next week about the status of that. But in terms of, I don't expect him to be a contributing factor for the Saints in 2026. Then the other off roster, Jalen Polk, He retired August the 2nd, and the Saints placed him on the reserve retired list. That was one of the wide receivers. And then, of course, Brock Reichsteiner, as reported yesterday, is suspended for 6 games because of PED suspension. He's preseason eligible to play. So the last time the Saints had a player that was facing suspension, they just released him. Would they do the same with Reichsteiner? Will Reichsteiner be the same guy? Would that be the case for him in this one? But nonetheless, man, let's kind of cover it and getting into it. We get into this article right here from NOLA.com. They talked about it and covered the suspended Brock Reichsteiner for the first 6 games of the season, as the NFL informed the Saints Thursday that the undrafted rookie receiver Brock Reichsteiner will be suspended for the first 6 games of the 26th season. Why, do you say? The NFL transaction wire does not include the rest of the suspension, but Reichsteiner signed with the Saints this summer after impressing a tryout player, as a trial player during the rookie mini camp. And he's the son of Scott Steiner, the WWE Hall of Fame wrestler. Now, the son played his college career at Jackson State, where he recorded 36 catches, over 300 yards in his final season. And considered in the Saints' depth chart, Reichsteiner was facing probably long odds of making a roster before his suspension came down. He's eligible to participate in the Saints training camp and preseason games, and suspension will begin with the Saints when they cut down their roster to 53 players. He was always a long shot, not to say the least. But with him, facing that's just another thing that ultimately the Saints will have to get together, right? We know that eventually the Saints will have to find an answer. And like I said, if you go and look at the wide receiver depth chart, you can find out and see that with Polk and Reichsteiner was at the bottom of the depth chart, to be quite honest with you. So I don't know how impactful he would have been to anything we had got going on. He was a severe long shot. I don't know how the Saints are going to handle it, if they're going to just ultimately do what they did with Beanie Bishop. Remember, Beanie Bishop was dealing with suspension. Instead of the Saints waiting out Beanie Bishop's suspension, they simply released Beanie Bishop and signed another cornerback to the team, Mike Reed, who used to play for the Carolina Panthers. So they just did that. Will that be in the cards for Reichsteiner? We'll have to find out as we move forward. But let me kind of move it on to our depth chart so you can see who we dealing with, who's remaining on the wide receiver depth chart. We know that we still have Barion Brown, Bryce Lance, Bub Means is I've been hearing some stuff about Bub Means in camp. Jalen Marino Cropper. We know about the top guys like Chris Olave and Jordan Tyson, Devine Vele, but guys like Trey Palmer and Mason Tipton is still out. So they have a couple of people. Mason Tipton out, Reichsteiner dealing with suspension the first 6 games of the season. Polk being retired. There's opportunities now. We had the deepest run in terms of players on the team is whittling itself down, right? It's kind of guys, Polk retired, Reichsteiner dealing with the suspension, Tipton's on injury. So Kevin Austin Jr., Ronnie Bell, Bub Means, Jalen Marino Cropper, Trey Palmer. There are opportunities for these remaining wide receivers to step up. Kevin Austin Jr., Bub Means is a very intriguing name to list there. Can Bub Means, who has speed, who has 6'2" size, strong, runs good routes, can he make a name for himself, and can he step up in this side of things? It'll be to be determined, but nonetheless, opportunities are being presented early in camp for certain players to kind of step out and handle a business, right? Shout out to Nola Knight. We're going to see. What's up, Kev? Shout out to Kev, man. Much love. Tasha, what's up, Tasha? Reginald, big ups to y'all. Pam and Whammy, much love. Queen, appreciate all y'all for being in the stream. Big ups, big ups, big ups, big ups. Now, see, like I said, we'll see how it all ends, man. But Reichsteiner getting hit with a PED charge, that's not a good look, brother. I don't know what y'all was thinking y'all was doing as wrestlers, but that don't fly. The NFL is very stringent on things like that, man. So anyway, let's keep it pushing, fam, and moving to the next group of news that I wanted to show you guys here in terms of well, hold on. Let's not go to the remaining schedule. Let's kind of look at the Saints training camp thus far and what we learned thus far from training camp, right? some of the things to kind of talk about in day number 7. Day number 7, some of the camp news to talk about with the black and gold, as provided by Jeff Nowak. The attendance, Elvin Kamara, was a rest day. Kendre Miller, Jeremiah Wright, Christian Miller did not participate. Ronnie Bell left earlier with a trainer. So Ronnie Bell's also dealing with something. Easily the best day of the offense. The offense starting to get going. We talked about them struggling. They starting to get going. The first set of 11 on 11 cleanest drills as well. So you saw seeing things really get going in the group. So very clean offense so far. Very efficient. Guys starting to settle in. The legend of Barion Brown continues to build. The final play of the day was the 46-yard bomb from Rattler to Brown in the 2-minute drill. And let me get my stats back on screen so y'all can see those highlights, because I was watching those highlights and other highlights as well that was happening, as well as I read you this report. But the Barion Brown continues to step up. The final play was that 46-yard bomb from Rattler to him in the 2-minute drill to win the game. Pretty incredible throw with Brown running away from Yiadom. Remember, he burned Yiadom up on the play, and Yiadom, it's what Yiadom does. I don't know what language Yiadom is, but it must be whatever for just third-degree burns or something on the football field, because Yiadom is known to get burnt. He's not a very good cover corner. He doesn't have top end speed. It's just as soon as they start running, he's in the trail position. So I don't know. Yiadom is not, to me. I just think Yiadom, we can do better there, And I've seen Yiadom when he was first with the Saints. He did well. Then he got the opportunity to go to 49er land, play with the Niners. He earned that contract, and he came back here. The Saints was trying to get another cornerback. They didn't get him. They settled on Yiadom. They gave him a multi-year contract. And I don't know if that was the best usage of coins they could have used. Me personally, I think you can do better than Isaac Yiadom, to be honest with you. No disrespect. I just don't think he's that good of a cornerback. But Barion Brown burned him on that 46-yard bomb. So the first team offense was making it well into the 2-minute situation, about $1:40 left on the clock, down to 4 with one timeout starting at the 35-yard line. Now, they had a frustrating end with a sack. Then they missed a heave to the end zone as time expired. Kool-Aid McKinstry also had a wild interception in the back of the end zone. Shough was throwing the ball away, but Kool-Aid McKinstry was able to get a finger on it and tip it to himself for the pickoff. So we talked about Kool-Aid McKinstry, had that little ankle situation, nothing to worry about, back on the field. Kool-Aid making plays. A lot of people want to see that happen because Kool-Aid is CB1, Quincy Riley is CB2, and CB3, obviously, the nickel position is Jonas Sanker. So they want to see those young guys develop. People say, can Kool-Aid be that number one guy? He's there now. And in his third year, and people want to see the jump. So far, so good from Kool-Aid McKinstry, right? So not bad. Bub Means continue to make plays. We talked about Bubs, certain guys having issues, but Bubs is healthy. Like I said, he's one of these guys that was dealing with issues early on, but in the final year of his rookie deal, we want to see some stuff from Bub Means. A lot of stuff. I think Bub Means is a solid wide receiver. He just has to stay healthy to prove it. And he is making plays in training camp. Caden Ellis is in the backfield constantly and always seems to be around the ball. So Caden Ellis is sticking his nose in there on defense, making plays happen as usual. High IQ player, and Caden Ellis sees the field well, has a great personality, a leader, teacher out there. In his 8th season, right, in his eight years in the NFL, Caden Ellis is doing positive stuff on the defense, which is good because we need to hear more about that middle linebacker position. We heard Danny Stutzman is also playing pretty decently in training camp. We know Pete Werner is doing okay as well. But there is, remember Coach Staley last year had a co-starter relationship going on with that other linebacker spot opposite of Demario Davis last year, right? We knew that that he it wasn't a 50-50 split in terms of playing time, but he used Danny Stutzman a lot, taking Pete Werner out, putting Danny Stutzman in the game. And Pete still had 70-something tackles on the season, played all of the games. Stutzman came in there, had 50-something tackles. So they shared that linebacker role well. Is that the same recipe we'll see going into 2026 to 2027? Is that the same recipe we're going to see, or will you see more of one versus the other? Time will tell. Time will tell. Now, Devin Neal, Audric Estime, and Ty Chandler all had good days. The running back competition is tight. The availability definitely matters. So Devin Neal, Audric Estime, and Ty Chandler. Well, let me talk about those guys. Remember, on the other stream, I talked about people not talking about Ty Chandler at all. Ty Chandler is the most forgot about New Orleans Saints player on this entire roster. The Saints side, Ty Chandler, he is actually a pretty good running back. They would consider him more of an elusive type, scat back type guy, but you've seen in footage. Y'all remember when we played the Minnesota Vikings, Ty Chandler got a touchdown on the Saints on the goal line. Y'all remember that? Ty Chandler could move, and that's a part of the reason why he was added by we knew that Travis Etienne, you heard with Chris Olave during the interview, we'll have that reaction for our Patreon people tonight, so y'all watch out for that. There's several reaction videos that I'm releasing for our Patreon family members. Chris Olave made an appearance on Rich Eisen's show, and was it Rich Eisen? On one of the shows, and he kind of said that he calls him Travis Etienne. He refers to him as Travis Etienne. And people was like, yeah, A-Chain, all this kind of stuff. I said, bro, listen, bro. A-Chain is what the man's name is in Miami. Devin A-Chain, look how it's spelled. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. Now, you can call yourself a zebra. You can call yourself a hippopotamus. You know, you can call yourself an astronaut from the underworld, whatever. And if you call yourself that and people going to respect what you're saying, they're going to say, here it is. But that's not how it's said. That's not how it's said, especially down here. I went to a school that was called Etienne. For my New Orleans people, y'all know which school we talking about. I know people with the last name Etienne, and it's spelled the exact same way. It is not that, man. And even Chris Olave said that he calls him Etienne. But if you want me to call you a hippopotamus, or you want me to call you a penguin with a gray suit on, whatever you want, brother, if you want to be that, that's fine. I will call you that. Now, outside of that, you see the money that was given, almost a $50 million contract by Kellen Moore and Slick Mick and the Slick Mick and the GMs gave to Travis A-Chain, right? They also restructured Elvin. They brought in Ty Chandler, and he kind of got mixed up or lost in the mix of acquisition of players that were coming in, because he didn't come in at the same time they did. He came in a couple, maybe a week or so later on, he came onto the team. But it wasn't a lot of fanfare involved for adding Ty Chandler. But Chandler is a guy that gives you speed and elusibility. He's a guy that can catch the ball in open field. If you have to tackle him in open field, you're going to have problems, because he's a guy that can put the shake on you. He can elevate. He can then put, stick in the dirt and just take off. Catches the ball like a wide receiver and has great duality. So having him here in the Saints room with guys like Devin Neal, who has good wiggle to him, coming off an injury, not to mention guys like Audric Estime, who earned the respect of the Who Dat Nation last year because of how he performed later on in the year by carrying the running attack. When he was the main running back doing that, with everybody was helped. When Devin Neal was hurt, Kendre Miller was hurt, Elvin was hurt, Audric Estime was here, and he and Evan Hall were the two running backs that the Saints were using to help balance the offense on their way to a 5-3 finish in terms of the second half of the season, that is. But it's interesting, man, to say the least. But those guys are competing in the room, and Kendre Miller dealing with a back situation is unfortunate. But the Saints, like I told you the other show, Saints are not counting on Kendre Miller to do anything. If he does something, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like having a party. Hey, you bring the chips, you bring the beer, you bring the chicken wings, you bring the pizza, you bring the potato salad. Don't put no raisins in it. You bring this, you bring that. And Kendre, what you want me to bring? Oh yeah, bro. You just come to the party, bro. Whatever you bring is fine, right? It's pretty much what it is. Everybody bringing something to the party. And if Kendra happened to bring some spare chips, that's more the merrier. But the Saints are not really counting on them to do anything. I mean, why should they? They've already added talent to the room. They've drafted Devin Neal. They've already added Ty Chandler in free agency. They've already brought in C.J. Donaldson, another of the power backs, 40 touchdowns from this power back out of Ohio State. So what is Kendre Miller going to bring? And the crazy part about it is Kendre was supposed to be ready for camp. And because he missed all of OTAs, all these other guys did not miss it. So all these other guys were in the OTAs performing. They're up and they're ahead in terms of that. Now you have this setback. So it's just more of the same, and history repeating itself with Kendre. And I hope that he does get back into effect, because when he's healthy, he's clearly the third back because he has the power, he has the moves, all this kind of stuff. But right now, you can't count on Kendre Miller to do nothing for you because he has a history of not being there, and you cannot ignore that. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So that's the competition. So you're seeing Devin Neal, Audric Estime, and Ty Chandler all having good days at camp thus far. And then, of course, you look at the because the running back competition is definitely heating up there. And it's the backup running backs. We know number one, Travis Etienne, Elvin will compete. But the third position in the Saints, I believe, will keep four running backs on the 53-man roster. I think they'll field four guys. Travis Etienne, obviously Alvin Kamara, Devin Neal is in the mix, him and Audric Estime, and Ty Chandler. We'll see how it all works out. But that is a competition going on there. And, of course, as you go special teams, Charlie Smith had a rough day kicking inside. He missed 3 straight field goals. That's not good. Charlie Smith was kicking his tail off up until yesterday, right? Kicking his tail off. He hit everything except for one. Then he re-kicked it and then made it. So I kind of scratched that off, right? So he's been doing a phenomenal job. Tough day yesterday. Missed 3 consecutive kicks, from 39, 44, and 51 yards, which makes he made from the PAT the 39 and 51, leaving the door wide open for Tanner Brown, who also had a couple of sharp misses. So it is an active competition between Charlie Smith and Tanner Brown, the UFL kicker. Tanner is kicking well. Charlie Smith is kicking well. But like I said, the Saints signed both men on multi-year contracts. And what occurs is you have a direct and serious open competition for the kicker. If this fails, the Saints ultimately probably going to end up just doing what they did at the punter's position. They're trying to play it cheap and go and find Canadian punters and guys like that. I thought Blake Gillikin was a solid punter. For whatever reason, Dennis Allen just said, let's just get rid of the kicker and the punter. I ain't get that. Well, remember, we ended up with Blake Groupie because Dennis Allen traded Will Lutz to Denver, and people was like, what are you doing? And people were saying Will Lutz he was missing in this, but Will Lutz just came off a core surgery. He had core surgery. He had to learn how to re-kick that thing. Look what he's doing with Denver right now. He's tearing it up out there. Will Lutz was always a phenomenal kicker, but for whatever reason, the Possum said, let's give him to Sean Payton. Just ship him to Sean Payton for some Doritos and a half-eaten hot dog. We ain't getting nothing out of that situation. Then the same time, he just said, you know what, let's get rid of Blake Gillikin too. And it's strange because I'm like, why would you get rid of Blake Gillikin? Gillikin was a solid punter. He was trained by Tommy Morstead. Morstead trained Blake Gillikin. And all of a sudden, the Pops say, oh, hey, man, listen, let's get him out of here. And then that's how we end up with these Australian punter situation all the way up until we picked up Wright from Tulane. This is the first day actually of when we were able to sign free agents. We signed Wright to be the punter. The Saints were just going on this thing. If, now we have this inexperienced kicker situation, and ultimately we did bring in Young Wei Koo to kick in there, but the Saints just decided to keep on with Smith. We'll see how it all ends, man, because that's also an open competition to be made aware of in terms of what's happening there. So that's some of it to make mention of per Jeff Nowak. Shout out to Jeff Nowak. All right, so this is the breakdown right here of what we have learned so far, what we learned about so far in camp with the Saints up until this to this day. Early camp takeaways, right? Camp identity, tempo, physicality, adaptation. That's a big part of it. Being able to pick up the new wrinkles, adopt it, put it into practice. Fast paced practices, high stress execution, which is good. You want that to happen. You want to be able to have practices conducted at a certain speed. The Saints want to have tempo paced style practices that mimic when they get to the live game action. They want to play fast and crisp against ops. Bottom line. So, and also the high stress. Remember, Kellen Moore talked about that. Other coaches talked about having high stress. This went back to when Clint Kubiak was the offense. Their philosophies in terms of stress in practice mirror each other in terms of that. They wanted high stress execution in practice. So, you kind of have all this going on at practice. So when you get to game day, you calm down, and some of the practices are more physical than what happened in all day. The situations are more stressful in practice, which gets you ready for game day in their mindsets. Now, here go a few things to talk about in the first category of stock up. Barion Brown, his stock is up big time. Big play rookie, deep ball threat, pushing for early targets. And the Saints are listening. With that being said, Barion Brown is definitely making his case as it stands. We did realize when the Saints took Barion Brown, Bryce Lance, and Jordan Tyson that every last one of those players will be making the active 53-man roster. I believe the Saints will. I don't know if they'll keep 6 now, because I thought Jalen Polk was a player that Kellen Moore had big thoughts on having an effect on the wide receiver room, ultimately the offense. Now this has shifted. That's why we play these practices. Now is Jalen Polk is out. You see guys have Mason Tipton is hurt. Jalen Polk is retired. Bub Means is taking this opportunity to step up and make his name known. We haven't heard too much about Kevin Austin Jr., but I know Bub Means is making it pop. Barion Brown, his stock is up. The availability watch, Kendre Miller, back issue limited in his reps, losing ground in the crowded room, must stack healthy practices. This is something that we have to watch out for, that there was big hope for him in terms of him being healthy. Let's get the guy healthy. Now, the running back room is crowded because of the caveats of the availability and injury issues pertaining to Saints players like Kendre Miller. QB1 progress, Tyler Shough, stronger huddle command, sharper downfield decisions, and chemistry building with Chris Olave. Chris Olave stepped in that thing. He got his contract, so that's out of the way. So if we glance at what the Saints training camp looks like, there are no distractions, family. Listen, there have been camps where we've had distractions before. There are no distractions in this damn camp, which is perfect. The Saints can focus on improving and just getting better, right? Just getting better, getting their offense together, getting the unity together, getting the chemistry, the synergy, everything they need to be got together. So that's positive. Chris O gets his bread. His extension is there. He's validated. He's 100% healthy. He's participating in these practices. Him and Jordan Tyson out there making plays. Barion Brown, Bryce Lance doing a little something. And then you see Devon Valley's healthy. So you see a positive energy flowing through the offense because, there are no distractions. Only the task of getting better and getting stronger every day. The kicker battle, I just mentioned this. Charlie Smith versus Tanner Brown. Smith recent pressure misses. Brown's closing the gap. Job remains wide open. Don't think for a second that Charlie Smith has the kicker battle lined up for him. Tanner Brown was brought in because what he did in the UFL, he impressed. It was his kicking that really helped the Louisville team win the UFL championship this past summer. He was a big part of it, especially in the playoffs. That really impressed the Saints. High pressure kicking, regardless if it's a college or in a semi-pro league. When a kicker does what he did and the Saints seen it and said, let's offer him a multi-year contract to come here, because both of these guys have multi-year contracts. The Saints offered them, and they puts him into a head-to-head competition for that Saints starting job. Who will win? I like Charlie Smith's odds because he's been before, but Tanner Brown is not making it easy for him. So the job remains open. Opportunity, Vernon Brockton. First team interior reps, power, anchoring, showing, stepping up after the Brian Bresee injury. So Vernon Brockton is the direct benefactor of Brian Bresee being hurt. Brian Bresee is done for the year with the ACL situation. Vernon Brockton, who was hurt all of last year, didn't play much, is healthy and ready to step in. Y'all heard and seen the presser from Vernon Brockton, a man of very few words, right? He don't, he kind of dry on the mic, but he's strong on and out on the field doing this thing. So we'll be seeing Vernon Brockton, 6 feet, 6'5", 315 pounds, interior defensive force. Coach Bo, who's our defensive line coach, the former LSU defensive line coach. This guy is phenomenal. Coach Bo is world renowned for getting his defensive linemen together and getting them ready. Vernon Brockton and Coach Bo are super cool. So we know that Vernon is going to be ready to play this year for the Saints. So remember, he was a 3rd-round draft pick for the Saints last season. There were questions about him being picked in that spot. A lot of people believe that he could have been gotten in the 4th round, but Coach Bo was the reason for the picking of Vernon Brockton from Texas. He believes that he will be a massive force for the Saints there. And of course, we know Christian Millen's dealing with injuries, so it was a good pickup to get Vernon Brockton, who's going to anchor and play inside right now, and he get first team reps. And of course, finally, the roster pressure, injuries, plus the Polk retirement, depth forced into bigger roles. That's the next test will be the joint practices, the Jaguars, Cowboys, Rams down the line. So this is just a brief case of what we have discovered and what we learned thus far as camp going on right now. Will be coming up on day 8 tomorrow, day 8 and 9 tomorrow for the New Orleans Saints. And next week, you'll see some preseason action. I know we've seen some stuff occurred with the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. They had the Hall of Fame game with Drew Brees there. We'll cover that momentarily with Drew. But man, it was awesome, man. It was awesome seeing Drew in that capacity. And before we finish, man, let me give a shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. FanDuel, the show is brought to you by FanDuel. And these are the odds on the NFC South winners. Tampa Bay plus 200, plus 240 is the Saints, plus 310 for the Falcons, and bringing up the rear is the Carolina Panthers, plus 330 for the odds. So check out FanDuel Sportsbook. Get your bets in at FanDuel. All kind of professional sports, all that. You can get it at FanDuel. Bet responsibly. All right, let's keep it moving, man. It kind of, since I gave you the schedule, let's talk about this. This is what, so you guys don't have to guess at what's coming up soon. I got it for you right here on screen. Saints training camp 2026 remaining camp and preseason schedule, because it can be confusing for people like, okay, Q, when are they practicing? When are they not practicing? Well, here's the schedule to kind of, you can screenshot and keep, save it somewhere and keep, so you can keep up on what's going on with them if you don't know. Well, you can see at day 8 tomorrow, you'll have the camp dates where they'll come out. They'll be in pads for from 9 to 10:30, open for the public, but it's sold out. Both of those 8 and 9 are both sold out. Practices where the family members can go down there and watch. August the 10th, there'll be a team day off. They come back for August 11 with pads on for about an hour and a half, and then you go closed to the public on both August the 11th and August the 12th. They come with the helmets. And then, of course, August the 13th is the joint practice that they'll have with the Jaguars. That's also open to the public, where you see that for a couple hours. The Saints will open practice against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then August the 14th, the Saints go through a walkthrough as well to get ready for August the 15th, which is the first game, the first preseason game of the Saints season against the Jaguars at 3 p.m. Central Time kickoff at the Caesars Superdome. So that is what's happening between August the 8th and August the 15th. So August the 8th to August 15th, that's what's happening. The following week, August the 16th through August the 22nd, August the 16th, the team has the day off. They come back on the 17th with helmets for a couple hours as they travel west. August the 18th is the joint practice with the Cowboys, right? We see that happen as well. They get that going on. August the 20th, they have a joint practice with the Rams. That's closed to the public. So both of those, the one that went to Cowboys on August 18th is open. The one on August the 20th with the Rams is closed. The Saints go through a walkthrough, and then they have the game on August the 22nd at SoFi against the Rams. It's a 3 p.m. Central game as well at SoFi Stadium. And then, of course, the final push from August the 23rd to 28th. The team has the day off there, August 24th, 25th. You see it's closed to the public. The 26th, the Shells. They'll meet up in Ullman Stadium. That's the new Tulane Stadium. And they'll have an open practice at Ullman. And then the closed walkthrough. And then August the 28th, the final matchup, the final game of the preseason on August the 28th at the Cowboys Stadium, Jerry's World, at 7 p.m. Central Time. So this is the mini camp and preseason remaining schedule as far as that's concerned, right? So that was positive. Also, let's keep it moving and grooving as well. Y'all hit that like button and spike the hype button as well as we keep this thing going. Y'all have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm not going to be on the broadcast very long this morning. I just wanted to pop off at y'all because I didn't get to talk to y'all yesterday. My schedule was busy. I couldn't do anything the entire day yesterday, but I'm here now. So if you got any questions, throw them in the chat and hit that like button, hit the share button. Now let's talk about this. Drew Brees, man. Drew Brees, Hall of Fame Drew. It's official, right? The Hall of Fame game comes with the induction speech of Drew Brees officially being brung into the Hall, and seeing some of the stuff that occurred with Drew Brees was very cool because for those who know that knew Drew and followed him as a New Orleans Saints, the way he played and prepared was next level. And then you see him come here, like it's a different thing. If you might be a younger who that just lived through my eyes, and others that were here when they seen Drew come from San Diego, sign with the Saints, go through everything he went through, the building of the offense, the team with Sean Payton, all of the years that Drew Brees was down here, his preparation, his mindset. Remember, Drew didn't have any scandals. He had one little situation that occurred. I don't know if I'm going to call it a scandal, when he said something, and the team got mad at Drew. Y'all remember that? But Drew apologized. He said, I didn't know. Demario Davis and others kind of, got them together and made them understand something. And no scandals from Drew. He was a brand ambassador in terms of being a smart businessman. Right now, he made $200 million as a Saint. Several businesses throughout the area, the Jimmy John's, the Sliders, the little performance thing, I forget the name of it, that he has going on. And then what else he got? I think he got some of the Dunkin' Donuts, stuff like that. So it's a few things. So he's done wonderful things business-wise, from a charity standpoint, all of that. But how he's behaved as an ambassador for the Who Dat Nation has been exemplary. And it was solidified with him ultimately putting on that gold jacket. But we knew at the time the way he was here in the city and how he performed and played, this guy's a Hall of Famer. Now you go from when he first came to with him doing all of that, winning the city's first Super Bowl, and now getting the end result of him actually being inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's like you was here from the start to the finish of his football process. And you take delight in it to see anybody, I don't care who it is, but when you're a person and you go through life and you excel at a high level, regardless of what field you in, I want to celebrate with you, because I think that's beautiful. I think that's awesome. I think that's a very good positive, because if it's teaching you that if this person could excel and have success, so could you, baby. So let's hear from Drew. I'm gonna play a little bit of Drew's induction speech from his Hall of Fame induction. Here we go with Drew.
You can create there. The Big Ten Conference is at that time was coming off of the quality of the academic degrees, but just the leadership positions that so many Purdue alumni hold around the country. It's just it makes me really proud to have had the opportunity to go there. To game prep? You know, I'd say that, well, first off, it's so much to plan for, you know, and my wife has really spearheaded, you know, so much of the preparation in regards to helping family and friends and everybody get here and, you know, make their arrangements, but also planning the party, which the party is really like a massive wedding reception, you know? And I think what we've been told is that, you know, it's going to be 5 days that's just a total blur, you know, but really try to enjoy the moment. And I think that's what I've tried to tell myself is, you know, you work so hard and stress so much leading up to the moment to make sure that it's right for everybody who's coming here to be a part of this celebration with you. You know, the way I really look at it is, this is my opportunity to convey my appreciation and gratitude to so many of the people, the places that were a part of this journey. And that's what I'm most looking forward to, is all the people I'm going to have a chance to see and appreciate and let them know just how, you know, how valued they are. And also, every interaction I have with the current Hall of Famers is, it just sinks in even more and more just what an incredible honor this is, and just what the game of football has meant to, not just to me in my life, but to so many people and to so many communities. It just reinforces what an incredible game this is. You know, the West Coast offense.
All right, shout out to Drew on that, man. I'm going to play another one for y'all too, man. Drew Brees. It was a special time for Drew. Let's play this one here, fam. I'm going to play this one for y'all as Drew, you know, at Canton, the experience.
Well, Thursday here in Canton, Ohio is Hall of Fame game day at Tom Benson Stadium, and a hive of activity the entire day for the Hall of Famers, especially for our own Drew Brees. He began the day with an autograph session. He segued to a very nice surprise, a Drew Brees jersey on the Tom Benson statue here at the stadium.
It's a good look on Mr. B. I saw Mr. Benson in a lot of jackets and ties. I never saw him in a jersey. That would have been a good one.
He went to a podcast and he did a news conference.
Way back in the 90s. He's like talking. He's like, I get it.
So very, very busy day for Drew, and he'll have a busy Friday also. But he'll also check in at the Hall of Fame game here at Tom Benson Stadium. So a great day for Drew Brees, really, and a great day for anyone who's looking out for Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, man. Hall of Fame Drew, man. Hall of Fame Drew. There was also an interesting story to talk about too, fam, that Drew talked about in his induction speech. He talked about how he came up with these the cheers or how he used to hype up everybody. And the fact that he went to a lot of the military events, you know, that the military would throw. And he traveled different continents. He would go to different military bases. He would meet the troops. He would exercise with the troops. He would shake hands with the troops. And he would get up early for them, and you'll hear these mantras that they would sing when they would wake up and to gain solidarity. That's what Drew came up with, a lot of the phrases that he would do, the pregame huddles and the things that he would say. He got that from the troops. And this is what I wanted to give you, that piece of game from the interview, because this is the best of Drew Brees' pre-huddles. And I thought that if we can add this into the current rendition of the Saints, it would be so awesome.
Hey, 60 minutes! Straight up. 60 minutes! Play fast, play aggressive, reset the tempo in here. This is our house! Our house! All I want is your best! Nothing more, nothing less! The struggle, the adversity, the excitement, emotion, energy! That's what I want to see! I want to see swagger! I'm playing for you! I'm playing for you! Play fast, play aggressive, play confident, play poised! We talk about being warriors! Now only a warrior can withstand the path that is taken to get to this point. The great teams start to separate themselves from the rest. Now is that time! And there's always something to prove. Trust yourself. Trust the man next to you. We're either gonna win We ain't leaving till we get it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Love that, man. Love that. Love that. Love that. Now, of course, some of them they missed a couple of them. Where Drew would do the "This is New Orleans" chant, and that's what inspired me to create the intro that I do for the show, because that's how he would hype the team. He got a lot of that from the military, man. That's another level for Drew. All right, but shout out to you guys. Appreciate you. A lot of stuff happened this past weekend, man. With the Saints training camp, Drew Brees' induction into the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame, Drew. It's there, man. So it's good to see that, man. We celebrate that with Drew Brees. All right, shout out to you guys. T Mama, what's up, T Mama? Good to see you in the building as well. Much love. Y'all hit the like button and the share button. Appreciate you for being in the stream. Steel Bill, appreciate you, man. The 440 Jewels, much love, brother. Appreciate you for doing that as well. Appreciate you. Man, listen, thank you for that. Yes.
Donations. 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 Gifts. 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 More gifts. More gifts.
Gifts, the magnificent. More gifts, the magnificent. Shout out to you guys. Thank you, Steel Bill, for that. Appreciate you. Shout out to Bronze for being a member for 31 months. I got some content coming at you guys, some reaction streams for that. Black Major, what's happening, fam? Courtney says turn back the mic. All right. I think it's Courtney says, can anybody hear me, man? My mic is showing that it's perfect. My settings here is showing that it's perfect. Maybe you should reset what you got going on, sweetheart. I think everybody can hear me. Y'all put in the chat if y'all can hear me fine. All right. Yeah, this is something great, man. Hall of Fame, Drew, to see him do that, man, is really good as well. All right, big ups to you guys, man. It's Poppy 504. Big Op Doogie says they told Kendra to bring the paper plates. They told him to bring the paper plates. Yeah, I know. Donations. And Margus, the magnificent. Don't forget Margus, man. Yeah, it was, but that's the great thing I love about Drew Brees. Like, he had the ability to, the overall is the process that Drew Brees contained. Like, he would talk about the visualization. Like, he was next level of how he would see things. Like, before he actually had the games, he would go to practice and he would be out on the practice field by himself, Drew Brees. And Drew would do these practices where he would visualize the entire practice. So he's out there by himself, pretending that there's a full game going on around him. And he'll be going through, the progressions, visualizing the progression. He talked about this many times. He would be out there on the field by himself, visualizing him throwing the ball to wide receivers, visualizing events that would occur, going through snap counts, just having this whole visualization thing. That's next level. You don't often see that kind of thing happening where quarterbacks go through like visualization, and then whatever, eventually if you train yourself, discipline wise, that whatever you visualize, you can manifest. You can bring it from here, which is intangible. You can't see it or weigh it, smell it or whatever. You can bring it from here into reality. So people can enjoy it. And many things that we see that we enjoy, from cell phones to stoves to your house that you live in, the air condition in the house, your car, all this stuff is a result of a vision, somebody having this upstairs and bringing it from here to there. And he was one of those big people that thought about that. Sean Payton was too. That's why him and Drew was so click tight on how they were able to do it. It's a success mantra or a formula that guys would use in manifestation, and visualization is a part of it. And that's what Drew Brees talked about. He was also heavy off into his spiritual teachings as well. So like I said, man, it's how you can take these things and make them great. And as you can see, he did not have the strongest arm. He wasn't the biggest player. So how was he able to beat other people that was? I mean, you have guys that were 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" quarterbacks, big, strong arms, stronger than Drew, faster than Drew, but he outperformed them all. How do you explain that? Because it's not all about that sometimes. It's more about this than anything, you know, and he proved that. Little Drew from Purdue is a Hall of Famer with a gold jacket. It's official. So, you know, I have to give him all kind of, there's so many examples that a guy like Tyler Shough could take from Drew Brees. That's why it's cool that he has Drew's personal phone. He can call him to get game from him at any given time. I just think it's phenomenal, man. I just think it's phenomenal. The lessons, right? All right. Yeah, that's right. Chopsley. Chopsley. Yeah. Yeah, y'all remember Marcus? All right. Anyway, yeah, that's old school, that, bro. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, Ocharimo. That's all. That's right, T Mama. All right, anyway, man, listen, man. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all in this broadcast, man. If y'all ain't got any questions, I get ready to dart on up out of this thing. But listen, fam, it's that's what we got for the Saints so far. They'll return tomorrow. Back-to-back days of practice. We're getting closer and closer to the first preseason game. That's next week. They'll be getting up against the against the Jaguars. So we'll see some organized preseason action to kind of take account of, to be able to see what our team looks like in an organized situation going forward. And it's the first and opening steps to us seeing what kind of team we got here in the city of New Orleans, man. So with that being said, fam, listen, shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. FanDuel has, you know, go check out FanDuel for all of their prop bets. As you can see, the numbers on screen, plus 200, plus 240, plus 310, plus 330, or the odds for whoever win the NFC South. Now, remember, these odds are going to change because the Saints, as preseason happens, you're going to see the Saints start to climb and gain ground, because I'm starting to see it in the national media, fam. I'm seeing it in the media that teams are in commentators, it don't matter who they are, fastly changing their minds. Like, look, we don't care about that one way or the other, but it's interesting to see that they see what we saw, what we seeing from the team, the energy perspective, the press sees it, the media sees it, the people see it, more importantly, the people feel it. And it's time, man. It's time for the Saints to get back to prominence, man, and it starts this year. That's what I believe, in success in any form. With that being said, fam, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show, hype the stream. Big Q representing the mighty Who Dat Nation of Sports Coma is in the building, the longest running Saints independent podcast in the land, man. I appreciate you. Also, shout out to my Patreon and YouTube membership family. I got some stuff coming for y'all tonight. It'll be ready for y'all tonight. Some reaction streams that I'm doing. It's actually pretty good, covering a few of these. That's just Veritas on what we've been saying about the Saints. That'll be for our Patreon stuff. Next week, I fire up a new season of On Q with Big Q. Our news show, we do one show a week based on my time. I think it'll, as things clear for me, I'll have more time to do more shows. But our news show once a week, covering the news and notes of today on Patreon. You can't do it on YouTube, but we can do it on Patreon. We can cover it. But if you're interested in that, join Patreon, because we got tons of shows and content on Patreon. If you're into the On Q with Big Q, if you want to join the platform, as you see, man, we doing big things. This upcoming year is going to be a big year for us as well. We getting ready to push past 15,000 subs and beyond. Sports Coma, it's going down in a major way, and we've been here. We ain't going nowhere. We only building and getting stronger, baby. And I appreciate all y'all for y'all contributions with that. So with that being said, I'm getting on the out of here. I appreciate you. Much love. And
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Orleans? Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thehootetdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thehootetdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.